I'm going to show you how to make the crispiest, most delicious potato chips ever. You start off with a couple of potatoes and one of my favourite toys in the kitchen, a Japanese mandolin. Just go ahead and slice your potatoes straight across, just like that. You almost want them to be see-through. They should be that thin. Be careful when you're using these mandolins. They can be quite dangerous in the kitchen, so make sure you don't cut yourself. And as you get close down to your fingers, definitely employ one of these guys, the guard. Get all of your potatoes, pop them into the water and give them a good old wash. So you literally want to just kind of move them around and wash some of that starch off the potatoes. Pick them up straight out of the starchy water. Just sit them on some absorbent paper for just a moment. Into a pot, you put a couple of litres of water with about 3 tablespoons of vinegar. This is going to give it that nice sort of sharpness. We're going to just quickly blanch them. Maybe 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes is all they're going to take, depending on how thick you've cut them, of course. Okay, so let that come back up to the boil. Give it a good stir so it's not, they're not sticking together. Once the potatoes have been blanching for just a couple of minutes, you should see they go pretty translucent. So if you pick that up, you can almost see right through it, okay? That's pretty cool. You see that we've washed off a lot of the starch. Now we've boiled even more of it out, which is going to give you a beautiful crispy potato. And then they can come out. Make sure you shake off most of that excess water. I've got a little tray here with some absorbent paper. Make sure you give the potatoes plenty of time to really dry properly. You don't want to rush this because don't forget, water and oil aren't friends. So if you throw these crisps in before they're dried properly, they're going to have a real reaction to that oil. So you've got to be really careful. You get the oil right up to about 160 degrees. I've got my thermometer in there so I can see that that's where it's at. Now you just pick up a handful of these little crisps and pretty much drop them in one by one. You're going to work in batches and you're going to make sure that you don't put too many in at the one time, because as soon as you see the oil starting to react, you can stop. So when your crisps are in the fryer, make sure you just toss them around a little. Make sure that the oil's seeing both sides of the potato. Once your crisps are just slightly golden brown, you just want them to be really lightly golden, see that? They're pretty much good to go. So check your heat. You want to keep it between that sort of 160, 180 range. So you might have to increase it ever so slightly, because every time you put a new batch of potatoes into the oil, it is going to cool it down. Okay, let's get these guys out. And the key to seasoning them is really season them while they're nice and hot. You've got to season them with fine sea salt straight away. So give them a quick toss. You know, I know that you can buy crisps, but they have a lot of preservatives in them and all sorts of stuff. This, potatoes cooked in oil with a little bit of salt. Really, really simple and really crispy and delicious.